I want to show you boys the two events in my life which really flipped a switch in my mind and helped me become who I am today. This is the story of why I went to Thailand and the two fights, one that broke me and one that built me up afterwards. So let me roll those clips for you real quick and give you something exciting to watch. Oh yeah, I still get a rush watching those fights back because it was such a stimulating experience to have. But I made a decision a couple of years ago that I wanted to go on an adventure and I wanted to find my own path in life and forge a way, find my destiny, become someone fantastic. And I thought, why don't I go to Thailand for 6 months, learn how to fight, learn how to be a cool guy. I'm gonna knock someone out and it's gonna be fantastic. And so 3 months after I arrived in Thailand, I signed up for my first amateur fight at the gym I was training at. These are fights that are actually held at the gym. And the idea that they have is they bring in foreigners who've never fought before and don't want to go straight into the deep end of the brutality of Muay Thai, because this isn't boxing, son. This is a bit more intense. Elbowing someone in the head, kneeing someone in the head. You can't do that stuff in boxing. This is a different gravy. Got to be built different for it. And so the gym thought, okay, let's host some fights ourselves and we'll bring in fighters which are not professionals, not guys who have 300 fights under their belt and are going to eat these foreigners alive. And I thought, that sounds good. It's a bit scary, but I need something to challenge me. I need something to level me up in my life. So after 3 months of training, I signed up for a fight and I went into it feeling confident. I went into this fight feeling good, thinking I've been training twice a day for 3 months. Everyone tells me I can do it. This is where I'm going to get all my glory, and all the pain from the training is going to be so worth it. So it comes around to the night of the fight. I'm in the gym, I'm getting my hands wrapped, and I see the guy I'm fighting walk in. And the guy who is wrapping my hands looks at him walk in, and he looks worried. He doesn't look so sure. And I thought, oh, something might be going on here. And I asked him, do you know this guy? He says to me, he an old man, you insure. And I thought, you beauty, I'm going to go in there, I'm going to gas him out, wipe the floor with him. My family's going to see it all. It's going to be fantastic. Because this was all live streamed. So I'd shared it to my family. I'd shared it to the cricket club I used to play for. Everyone was ready to watch me dominate, or so I thought. I wasn't scared leading up to this fight. I thought, I've got this. This is everything I trained for. And so I stepped into the ring thinking, you beauty, glory awaits. This is about to be fantastic. And then the bell rang and everything changed about 2 seconds after that, because straight away, the first thing that this guy threw was something that I had never seen before in my life. I did not even know it exists. And as soon as that happened, I thought, oh no, boys, I'm in a bit of trouble here. And my brain instantly went into survival mode. I forgot everything I'd trained for. I thought, I just have to try and survive 3 rounds and not get knocked out. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, as you just saw before. I survived about 60 seconds before he got me, boom, under the chin, fell down. And I tried to get up when that happened. I thought, oh, I've been knocked a little bit. It's all right, we'll continue. And when I tried to get up, my brain went, whoop, and I dropped down again. I thought I'd tripped. So you might have seen that video clip when I stood up. I was protesting like, I just tripped. But no, it turns out he had knocked me out clean. And that was an incredibly humbling experience, because I had been put into the ring with someone who I was not expecting to face. I was faced with a challenge which I was not prepared for, and something which I had not even signed up for, because this was an absolute mismatch. This was not supposed to happen. These fights were designed to not have someone of that caliber fighting an absolute beginner. It was like a lamb to the slaughter. And this guy, it turns out, when I did a bit more research, he used to be a pad holder for one of the most famous Muay Thai fighters, one of the most brutal Muay Thai fighters of all time. And he's got like 300 wins, the guy who I fought professionally. So he just knocks out foreigners for fun. And I knew something was up, because when I saw him eye to eye, his eyes had a little evil glint in them, like he was just here for some fun. He likes to knock out some poor Australian boys for shits and giggles. And so after that fight, I was feeling very sober, and I had 2 choices. I could have either left it at that and felt sorry for myself and thought this is unfair. I could never have won that fight, because it's true, I couldn't. There's no way someone with 3 months of experience can compete with someone who has 20 years of fighting every single month. It's just not possible in these sports. And so that was one of the options. And the second option was I just take it on the chin and I think, well, this can't be the end of me. This can't be the end of Joe Davis. I can't go back to Australia and go, oh, I tried, guys, but I failed. Let me go back to my job working in the supermarket and leave it at that. And so instantly I thought, I've got to go back to training. I went back to training the next day, a little bit sore on my chin, but I wasn't hurt, recovered pretty quick. And when I got back to training so quickly, one of the trainers came up to me and he says, do you want to go again? Do you want to fight again? And instantly I said yes. I was like, I have to do this. There is no doubt in my mind that I cannot leave it at this loss. If I come back and win, that's going to be a fantastic story. But there was also some fear there. I was now scared for this second fight, because what if I lose again? I know how it feels. I know the pain of losing. I know it's a very real possibility. And I might be the first person to go back to back in that setup and lose 2 amateur fights in a row. And I didn't want that. So the pressure was really on me heading into this second fight. And the biggest mindset change that I made heading into this second fight is I was no longer heading in thinking, I'm going to win. I'm going to hit a highlight knockout clip on this person. Everyone's going to clap and it's going to be fantastic. I went into the fight thinking, I am just going to try and do the absolute best I can. We're going in no emotion. We're going in stone cold killer. And we're going to stick to our training. We're going to fight hard. We're not going to panic. And we're just going to take it however it comes. Because every fight is completely different. Everyone's style is different. Everyone's technique is different. Everyone's skill level is different. People's heights, weights, so on and so forth. Especially in Thailand, you never know what you're going to get. And that had been proven to me just a month earlier. So the night of the second fight rolls around. And I remember the night before that fight, I could not sleep at all. I was absolutely shitting bricks. I'd never been more scared in my life. Through that whole day, I was just sitting there shell-shocked thinking, oh, this is happening again. I can't get knocked out again with everyone watching. This cannot happen. Surely this is not the way my life is supposed to turn out. One of the important things here is that I did not have to do this second fight. No one was forcing me to. At any point in the lead up to that second fight, I could have pulled out. I could have said, I'm not meant for this. I don't want this anymore. I'm just going to pull out and I'm going to go spend the last 3 months of my Thailand trip having a good time. Then I'll head back to Australia. But every single time I decided not to do that, my confidence grew a little bit. And I was still terrified when that fight came around. But about half an hour before I was due to walk to the ring, my mind suddenly flipped. I was no longer scared. I no longer wanted to run away. I was suddenly eager to jump into the ring and get into the fight and just start throwing punches. It's what I wanted. I didn't want anything else in that moment more than to fight this guy that I'd just seen. And I knew I couldn't get caught off guard again when the bell rang. So about the first hour before the fight, I was sitting there with my headphones on, no music playing. I just wanted absolute silence and I wanted to be present with myself and face this as much as possible so I could be ready. Because it was no longer about trying to avoid the fear. It was just about trying to confront as much of what I'm going to face as possible so that I am ready to equip with it and that I'm confident in my mind that I will handle it no matter what goes down. Even if I get absolutely hammered in the face with the elbow, I'm going to deal with that and continue moving. And so by the time I was standing in the ring and we'd finished our Y crew and it was time to fight, I had visualized this exact moment when the bell rang about 200 times in my mind. I had been here so many times before. It was no longer scary or new, and I knew what I had to do. And then when we started fighting, instantly I felt so much more confident. I felt like I could handle what he was throwing at me. I felt like I was outscoring him consistently, and I felt like I was chasing him around the ring a bit. I felt like I was actually in control. And the feeling of power I started to draw from that was exceptional. When you're in that situation, when you're literally trying to hurt someone else and they are trying to hurt you as badly as possible till you can't continue. When you get to that point where you know that you're in control now and that you're starting to win, it's amazing how confident you get in that moment. And so late in the first round, he threw a few kicks, I was advancing on him, and then I threw one back as hard as I could. I wasn't thinking, what's my next move in this fight? I was just going with what my brain was telling me. I saw an opening, I threw a kick, and when it bounced off him, it sounded like a shotgun. He was stunned. I threw some punches in there. I'm pretty sure I blacked out, and when I opened my eyes, I couldn't see him anymore. And I looked down, and he was there lying on the ground, and he got up, he was a bit wobbly, and the referee waved it off, and that was it. And I have never, to this day, regardless of what substances I've used, regardless of what I've achieved, I have never felt such a sense of happiness and fulfillment and pride in myself and my abilities. And that was the key takeaway I got from it. Going through all that pain, all that suffering, and all that uncertainty, when I could have been knocked out twice in a row in front of everyone there and everyone watching online and look stupid, was so worth it because I didn't give up and I was going to keep coming back until I got the result that I went out to Thailand for in the first place. And so once I learned that I could use it in every area of my life, not just fighting, that same determination and that same grit to not give up when you have those setbacks and when you feel like everything is going wrong and you're physically hurting, in my case, literally from being smacked under the jaw and kicked in the leg a few times, it can be very hard to continue. But if you can force yourself through, regardless of how scared you are and regardless of how much your mind is telling you just to run, we don't need this, we'll find something easier to do. If you push through, you will experience such fantastic stuff in your life and such intense emotions like you have never felt before. My hope with this story is to inspire some of you to go out there and try something hard for yourself. Because before this moment, I was always a scared kid. I never really pushed through the pain to achieve something. And once I'd broken that veil and I'd seen the other side, it flipped a switch in my brain and my life was changed forever. And I know you can do that too. But I also know that you have to have that experience which is going to hurt you enough, which is going to scare you enough, and that you are going to push through anyway to realize how much you are truly capable of. So I hope you enjoyed this video, boys. I hope you got some value and some inspiration from it and you want to run out there now and charge through a brick wall. So if you enjoyed it, subscribe, like the video, share it to every single person you know so that I can get 100 million billion subscribers. So as always, boys, I will see you in the next video.